And we are live. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Hot Stove Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Nunez, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
Mark.
Peyton Pritchard.
We got Peyton tonight? Holy shit.
Yeah, special guest, Peyton Pritchard on the show.
Big time
Mark's drinking a Budweiser.
Yep.
I was going to make a really poor taste trailer trash joke, but I can't even
Drink
do
your
it.
water, kids.
Drink your Mountain Dew Major Melon. This episode of the Hot Stoves Podcast is sponsored by Mountain Dew.
Do the do.
Major Melon. Those aren't the only melons you'll be touching tonight.
What's that supposed to mean?
Anyways, a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. Tonight we're going to be doing our NBA midseason awards, so that should be fun. But in the meantime, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Also on the YouTube side of things, make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash the like button, smash the notification button, and leave a comment if you feel like commenting. And that's it for my spiel on that. A couple more things we got to make up for. Go over the results of our FanDuel golf contest from this past weekend, the WGC Workday Championship. Everything went to hell for at least me and Mark. And the other two people seem to have had a normal golf lineup. So Mark came in last with 320 because Patrick Cantlay didn't participate. He withdrew at the last moment before the tournament started.
Yeah, right before the tournament started.
I finished in third with 443.9 because Matt Wolf went out and shot a plus 11 in the first round and then withdrew after day number one. Josh finished in second with 41.8 with a normal golf lineup. And then Austin came in first at 502.6. So congratulations, Austin, for winning our golf contest for the Workday Championship. I was going to ask if you guys wanted to do one for the Arnold Palmer, but it's too late. We're recording. I mean, we can still do it. It just won't be on the show. So that's up to you guys. Now I'll make the contest right now. You guys set the lineups while we're doing the show. We'll go over it at the end of the show. How about that?
Yeah.
How does that sound?
That can be done.
Okay. In the meantime, we need to find a way. I'll do that while we're doing awards because I have other stuff to talk about at the moment. A couple of things as well. 3 weeks from today is the Hot Stove Fantasy Baseball Draft. So if you're interested in joining the Hot Stove MILB Invitational, we have 5 spots left in the league. So if you're interested, let us know and we'll invite you to the league. Also, I started the group today for the Hot Stove Invitational for the NCAA Tournament Challenge. Our Hot Stove selection show is going to be 2 weeks from tonight. Selection Sunday is 12 days away now. So I'll be sending out invites to that group to literally everyone I know. It's free, and you don't have to know anything about college basketball to participate anyways. So Hot Stove Invitational coming soon for the tournament challenge. And then we'll be picking a consensus Hot Stove bracket on the show in 2 weeks that I will make a separate ESPN account. And that's going to be part of the group as well. So we see how our consensus does compared to the group as well. So we'll be doing that in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, tonight, what we'll be doing tonight as we wind down the first half of the NBA season, the All-Star break starts on Friday. We are going to do our NBA midseason awards. Sounds fun, right?
Woo!
Woo! Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Anyway, so we are going to break down the, how many is it? 6 major awards in the NBA towards the end of the show. But in the beginning, what we're going to do is we're going to hand out the floor, if you will, to each of our hosts here to give out some NBA first half superlatives. I gave these guys an opportunity to write down whatever they felt like writing about and giving out some awards. But first, actually, I want to ask a question based on something that I was asked the other day. So it could be an extra superlative, right? So I was asked the other day by a good friend of mine, who do you guys think is the most underrated player in the NBA? And I was asked this with no context, so I was thrown directly into the fire. So I'm going to do the same to you guys. I want you guys to think hard about this. Who do you think is the most underrated player in the NBA?
Okay, I think I got mine.
Okay, you go, Josh. Go and give us your reasoning.
I mean, it may
the
sound
golf contest.
I think it sounds stupid, and it may just be ignorant of me to think that this guy's underrated, but like Nikola Jokic is by far the best player on the court this year, I think, in my mind. And there's just no, I mean, it could just be because Denver's just not performing as well as they have been. But like, if LeBron was doing what he's been doing this year, or if like even Russ his year got all this credit, like he's just insane. And he just has no marketable values. Maybe it's the Nuggets. Maybe that's what it is. But I just feel like he does not get the respect he deserves on the court.
I will push back on that just minor because I say that in terms of people who like, I want to make a distinction here between people who like watch basketball and watch basketball. You know what I mean? It's less to do with even like the casuals versus the hardcores, right? Because like I think even casuals understand how good Jokic is. But
okay.
I just think that with most people that like know basketball, you know what I mean? You know what you understand what I'm trying to say when I say that, right?
Yeah.
From what I understand, I haven't been reading too much. I know the NBA puts out their Kia MVP ladder every week, updating the MVP rankings. But I assume that Jokic has been like top 3 in that all season. And I'm sure we'll talk about him more later. So I'm not saying it's a wrong pick. I'm just saying that, I'm not saying it's a wrong pick.
Wrong pick.
I didn't say that.
Didn't say that. You're wrong.
Okay. Also, I sent you guys the golf contest.
Oh, man. Underrated. I guess this comes down to a couple players for me. I'd have to say, I'm going to say Norman Powell. I think I don't know if you guys been following the season he's had, but he just puts up 20 a game as a player. Like most people wouldn't consider him the 4th best player on that team. Like when OG's healthy and you have Lowry and Siakam and all them, you mean, and Van Fleet, you're like, you don't even think about Powell, but he comes out, he scores 20 a game. He's pretty efficient. I don't know. I just think he's a really good player that nobody ever talks about. However, I will also add in, when DeJounte Murray hit his game-tying jumper the other night, all I saw on Twitter was, wow, they really let a nobody tie the game on them. Who the hell is this guy? I was like, is this a joke?
I was surprised that DeJounte Murray wasn't your first answer within like half a second.
That's my pick is DeJounte Murray, because he's been putting up like 16, 6, and 7 this year, like just really solid for the Spurs this year. And I saw the same thing on Twitter when he hit that game winner. And I'm like, a couple years ago when he got hurt, that was like a massive deal. People were like, oh man, DeJounte Murray's hurt. Like, and now all of a sudden people just have completely forgotten about him at age 24. So that was my pick. I think he's having a really good year, and I don't think people are talking enough about him.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Austin, because one of the guys I thought of was OG Anunoby.
Yes.
OG.
Maybe it's just the Raptors as a whole are just as a dummy underrated. But the pick that I went with is a guy who's been around for a little bit, bounced around to a few teams, but I still feel like his role is invaluable to a basketball team. And I think it's more so because like in a Marcus Smart kind of vein, he does all the dirty work, right? And I went with Robert Covington. To me, is the most underrated player in the league. A true 3-and-D player in the truest sense of the word, is able to go out, average a steal and a half, a block and a half for the season, while also shooting upwards of 40% from the 3. I don't know. I just think that what Rocco adds to a team and what he's added to the Blazers this year is something that like a lot of teams take for granted. That's just I
think that's a good pick too.
Anyways, done with that question. We're going to go with the order on my screen. We're going to go person by person. I'm going to have you give out your superlatives for this first half of the NBA season. So in order of clockwise for me, we're going to start with you, Josh.
All right.
2021 first half superlatives.
We doing the normal ones first, or just the ones I made up?
The ones you made up.
Superlatives, the ones you made up.
Okay. Well, who's to say? Superlatives. All right. The first one I went with is this is the award that goes to the team most in need of a center. It's the Are You Sure Yao Ming is Done award, and that award goes to the Charlotte Hornets. Please God, give them someone reliable in the center that isn't Cody Zeller, and that team is a legitimate threat to knock someone off in the playoffs. They are really good when they're on. They have decent depth with LaMelo, and they could be so much better if they just had someone who wasn't Bismack Biyombo and Cody Zeller trying to stay on the court while hacking people every goddamn trip. Okay? They can't keep up. You just need some speed. Go trade for Andre Drummond or hell, even Blake Griffin, I guess.
No, I've heard all the Andre Drummond rumors, and that's my favorite Andre Drummond landing spot is Charlotte.
Yeah.
I love that.
If they could have a center, it'd be awesome. They'd be awesome. And it's not just because they're a favorite of mine to bet. They're a good team. Young, got a lot of passion. Okay. Then the second one I had, this is my final one. The Can I Get a Refill on This Prescription Award, and it goes to the least mentally tough team in the league, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. They are a bunch of losers. I don't know what Kyrie did first half of the season, sitting his out with his mental break. Now KD just was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to sit out until the All-Star break. What is happening? When James Harden, who was equally mentally insufficient earlier this year, is the only constant on your team, something is wrong. But they seem to be doing fine. And that was more just funny as a thing to write. But, I mean, what do we do? That's going to be a team where, honestly, as mental comes into it, it's going to be interesting to see if Steve Nash can actually coach a team in the playoffs, like from game to game when it matters. So as much as the troll, I think it's true that team needs to, smarten up a little bit, I think.
I appreciate the heel turn that Josh has made to actually watching basketball this season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the first season where Josh doesn't sound like an idiot.
There you go.
Speaking about basketball. That's a compliment.
Yeah. It's a gambling addiction. So thank you.
You need psychological counseling. Anyways,
I do.
Austin, you're next. Why don't you tell me your superlatives for the first half of the season?
Well, the first one is loser exec of the year. And that is whoever is GMing the Dallas Mavericks. That team is a whole bunch of losers with Luca Doncic at the center. I mean, what is happening on that team? Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps can't even stand, can't even walk. Who's their center? I know their center, whatever you want to call it.
Maxi Kleber. Are you kidding? The bench players are even worse. They have Jalen Brunson, I'll give you, having a good season. I mean, other than that, I think I could do as well as any of their bench players. You put me on the court and just stand me at the 3-point line, I do what they're doing. You out see Luca go out and just go 40, 15, and 15, and they lose by 30. I mean, they're terrible. Sticking on the same trend here, we have the loser player of the year. This is going to go to a player who I would have given it to many years in a row. One of my favorite players, Andre Drummond. Again, going to be benched until he's traded. I mean, I feel like his life is on repeat. He can't stop it. Every year he gets close to the deadline, everybody says, all right, time to trade this loser. And they bench him, they trade him, he goes somewhere else. He plays well, and then they go, oh, this loser sucks, and they bench him and trade him again. He's going to be the loser of the year, not by a court of his own play, but a court of, everybody hates him.
Can I interject really quick? I thought for sure your loser player of the year would have gone to Cat, but I appreciate.
No, he got COVID. I can't. I mean, what are you supposed to
feel bad for him? Okay, I got you. Sorry.
Now I agree on the Drummond point, by the way, and it's one of the few things I agree with Draymond Green on. That I think it's actually honestly kind of disgusting what the Cavs have done with Andre Drummond, and the fact that they can just choose, rot. Not because you're being a cancer in the locker room or even because you're playing poorly, because we don't want to put you out there so we can A, be bad because they're still not trying to contend, and B, just wait to see what happens, to see if maybe we can trade you, or we'll just, maybe buy you out. Who knows?
Well, yeah, you can't let him play. What if he gets hurt? Then you can't trade him.
That's exactly my point. I hate it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's awful.
Yeah, the fact that the teams don't have to take on that risk, and I mean, like, you sign a contract and you have to play to make money, but the team doesn't have to play you and can just bench you and make you rot is kind of extreme. Not a fan at all. And my best team of the year, you might think this is a weird award already to be given out, but my best team of the year award is the Indiana Pacers, because they have two of the most underrated players in the league on their way back, and they're still competing in the East. This team is going to win the title. I'll tell you right now, place your bets right here. Money back guarantee. Everybody in the audience who's listening, if you bet the Pacers to win it all, send me your pay stub here. I will pay you back if it doesn't pay out. When TJ Warren and Karis LeVert come back, they are winning an NBA title.
You will be receiving a screenshot from me later on.
That is the audience, not the cast members.
I already did it. I just did it.
Also, we passed over.
What a way to be back.
I completely forgot. I also had a trivia question for tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we both had trivia. None of us did it.
Yeah. So
I didn't have trivia either.
I could do that on my turn here.
We'll wait. Actually, we'll finish the superlatives, then we'll do trivia, then we'll get into regular awards.
All right, that's my last superlative that isn't just bad-mouthing random people. All right.
Okay. All right, Mark, what are your superlatives for the first half of the season?
All right, so my first award is the most useless talent award, and that goes to Bradley Beal. The Wizards stink, and he should definitely not play for them anymore because he is being wasted in Washington. There's nothing else it's useless.
It's tough.
It's useless to be that good.
It kind of feels bad. I'm always like a team first guy, and just like watching Bradley Beal just be like, I love the city of Washington. I can't wait to stay here. And I'm like, God, don't you want to leave though?
Yeah.
I all for the team, but he's like totally brainwashed now. And I'm like, at least you should want out.
He's
want
in the sunken place. He's got to get out, bro.
I
bad.
feel super bad for him. I would love to see him anywhere else, because people would be like, wait a minute, this guy scores how many points a game? And just, it's a shame, really. The next award, one of my favorites, the why doesn't this guy play in Yugoslavia award? That goes to Dante Exum. I had no idea he was still in the league until recently. I remember, wasn't he like the villain in like NBA 2K14? Like,
real thing.
I can't believe Dante Exum is still around. He's always been bad.
Otherwise known as the award.
Yeah, like next award is the Whitey of the Year award, non-European. And that goes to Tyler Hero. Like I said, non-European. We're not giving Jokic and Doncic, all those guys. They're not.
How do you classify European?
I mean, like, not from Europe. Like, just.
Aren't we all from Europe, Mark?
Shut up. So Tyler Hero, congratulations! You're my Whitey of the Year non-European award winner.
You have a Whitey of the Year European edition? Or?
I usually would, but it's Jokic, so it doesn't matter. Like, we'll get to that later.
You call that one the Honky of the Year award, if you
the Honky of the Year. And then the most prestigious award I give out, which if I had given this out in previous years, he would have won it every year. The Idiot of the Year award goes to Draymond Green. The guy who said he did the smartest, dumbest thing he could have done, which is still one of the most ridiculous quotes I've ever heard. Did you guys hear that?
No.
He pulled up.
What was this about?
Oh, it was about the thing in the Spurs game?
Yeah, was it against the Spurs where he pulled up a half-court three-pointer to try to win the game when Steph Curry was on the court at the same time?
That's the game that Austin was referring to with the DeJounte Murray thing, because DeJounte Murray hit that shot, and then with 8 seconds left, Draymond just chucked it up from half court for literally no reason and lost the Warriors the game.
Yeah. So this goes in mainly for that play, but then he said, it was the smartest, dumbest thing I could have done. I'm like, you have Steph Curry on your team. Pass him the ball.
He's trying to make a bucket, dude. You got to respect
trying to draw a foul with 9 seconds from half court.
Like,
as if he was going to hit the free throws, right?
Yeah, everything about it was stupid. Draymond Green, 6-time Idiot of the Year award winner in my eyes. So yeah, there we go. Those are my superlatives.
All right, cool. Well,
I came up with all of those in the last 5 minutes. I didn't have time to write any today.
I have 4 superlatives to give out myself. So the first superlative is the Y'all Must Have Forgot award for the NBA this season. I give it out for pretty much every award show that we do because I like to give out the Y'all Must Have Forgot award. The Y'all Must Have Forgot award for the first half of 2021 goes to Kevin Durant. In the fact that, like, I feel like when Kevin Durant tore his ACL and, he missed all of last season, or not his ACL, his Achilles, and missed all of last season, people kind of forgot that Kevin Durant is like a top 5 player in the NBA. And he came back this season, and minor hamstring injury keeping him out through the All-Star break notwithstanding, he's still a top 5 player in the NBA. I don't care if he doesn't like it. The Slim Reaper is the man. And yeah, y'all must have forgot that Kevin Durant is the man. Anyways, second of my superlatives is the backyard basketball team of the year. That would be the driveway basketball team of the year, I guess. You don't play basketball. Yeah. It's not bad. But it's a team that makes almost no sense when you watch them. It seems like they never once run a play or play structured basketball, and they're kind of fun, but they're still not very good. That award goes to the New Orleans Pelicans. When I watch the Pelicans, I have no idea what the hell they're doing. It's still fun to watch, though. I'll admit it's a fun time to watch the Pelicans play. But they are my driveway basketball of the year award. My third superlative is the Eternal Green Light Award. This goes to a player who I don't think I've ever seen him catch the ball and not shoot it. There's no basket that he won't throw a ball at. And it's kind of mesmerizing that he's still that good at it. That goes to Duncan Robinson. Now, I watch a lot of Heat games, being a Heat fan and whatnot. But if you guys watch some Heat games, you'd know that every single time you look up, somebody's passing to Duncan Robinson, and without hesitation, he's shooting that ball. It does not matter where he's standing.
I would be shocked if he averaged less than 28 three-point attempts a night.
Yeah,
the guy shoots a million times a night.
It's insane, actually, to watch. I mean, he never has thoughts about pulling the trigger. It's an automatic, just get the ball, shoot the ball. And that goes to my Eternal Green Light Award of 2021. My fourth and final superlative, of which I have to pull out the share screen to give, is what I'm calling can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. It's what I'm calling the J.R. Smith Award for 2021. As you can see here from this Rob Perez tweet, this is where I got the idea for the Green Light Award, when he was talking about he hasn't seen a person with a greener light than 2021 Jordan Clarkson. And somebody replied, he was raised by Swaggy P, Lou William, and JR. He was made for this. Now, if you'd like to scroll down, here's Jordan Clarkson without J.R. Smith, pre-J.R. Smith days, if you will. Let's pull this up here. Got to move the people out, though. All right, there we go. And here's Jordan Clarkson after a season of playing basketball with J.R. Smith. And Jordan Clarkson has evolved into the likely 6th man of the year this season, as Rob Perez, who follows me on Twitter, shout out to Rob Perez, has tweeted, no person other than Duncan Robinson, in my opinion, has a greener light than this man, Jordan Clarkson. And for that reason, and the tattoos and the swag, Jordan Clarkson gets my J.R. Smith Award for the year 2021. Now, before we get into the main awards for the evening, we have some trivia to get to that we forgot at the top of the show. So, Austin, why don't you hit us with your trivia questions to start?
It's just a single question, two-parter here. Essentially, it's a tough one to word. I'm bad at wording it, so I'll do my best here. But the midpoint of the season, I'd say this is not arguable. Maybe some would argue it. 2 of the top 5 MVP candidates are Stephen Curry and LeBron James. And neither have won the award in the past 3 seasons. Who was the first person to win an MVP separated by 3 seasons? And who was the last person to win an MVP separated by 3 seasons?
Ooh, that's a really good question.
That's a great question.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I completely cut out when you were like, so was it who won the award last within 3
who
years?
was the first person
it?
to win 2 MVPs separated by at least 3 years? And who was the most recent person?
Okay.
Was the first one Bill Russell?
No.
Was the first one Bob Pettit?
Technically, no. Both of those, they won it in the 3rd season, so only 2 seasons separated them.
Okay.
Understandable. Okay. I'm trying to think of it through my brain of like MVP.
Multiple time MVP.
Was the most recent one Tim Duncan?
No.
Okay.
Kobe? Did Kobe win 2?
No.
Was it Dirk Nowitzki?
It was not.
Damn it.
Oh, he only won 1, I think.
Correct.
Oh, this is a really good question.
No, did that guy ever win?
I feel like, I don't know.
Kareem?
No, I don't know which one that was for, but no.
The first. I wouldn't guess Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most recent.
Okay, no.
Was Michael Jordan one of them?
Michael Jordan is the most recent one. He won he won a lot up till 1992, and then he won again in 1996 for 4th season part there. Now we're looking for the first player to do it.
Was it Rick Barry?
Not to my knowledge. You know, if he played pre NBA ball, I guess maybe
He did not play pre NBA ball.
Okay.
Was it this guy had it? Was it Larry Bird?
No.
I assume this guy would have been late 70s, early 80s, maybe.
No.
Earlier than that?
Is it Wilt?
It is Wilt.
Damn.
Wilt won the MVP.
We could have just listed.
And then won again in 1966, where he went on to win a couple more after that. But his was a 6-year difference for him. And Jordan, I didn't get to research enough, but I think those might be the only 2 to ever do it, like 3 complete seasons in a row without getting it.
Well, I'm going to go to Wikipedia and we'll look this up.
Yeah. This was the first ever trivia question I did based off me actually researching it. So, you know, who's to say? Could all be wrong. I'm positive Jordan's the last one to do it. But
I'll share my screen here. So here we are looking at Wikipedia.
I just know nothing about like MVP.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain did it here 6 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Pettit only won 1. So that's sad.
He won 2. He won.
No, he won 2.
56 and 50.
Oh.
89.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, no, it looks like
Kareem did it in the 3rd year.
Yeah, a bunch of them did it 3rd year, but none of them did it like Curry and LeBron could do it this year. It's kind of what I was
yeah,
getting.
it's looking like it was just
Yeah, it was.
Jordan did it in 90, 91, and then 95, 96. Yeah.
all right. Well, there you go.
It's pretty
Awesome
crazy. I would expect more people to done it, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, usually, I mean, when people are that good, it's for like they win their MVPs in quick succession. Like you see a lot of back MVPs.
Yep.
So I have 2 trivia questions worth a total of 3 points given out here. So first one is a football question. This is in terms of active. The answer is an active NFL quarterback. So I'll just give you that right now. Since the NFL AFL merger, there's only one quarterback in NFL history.
My dad asked me this the other day.
Okay, well, Austin got it. I'll give him the point for that, but I'll read out the rest of the stat. There's only one quarterback who has at least 50 career starts.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
Who hasn't thrown a pick 6. Mitchell Trubisky is the only quarterback in NFL history with at least 50 career starts and 0 pick 6s.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Sounds like a franchise quarterback to me.
No, shut up. Anyways, second question here is one I'm sure Austin hasn't heard yet. It's fantasy related, fantasy baseball related, if you will. Since the start of 2019, Freddie Freeman leads all hitters in baseball with 779 fantasy points. Who are second and third amongst first basemen in that span?
Jose Abreu.
Austin, who'd you say?
I just asked since the start of when. Sorry.
Since the start of 2019. Mark got the guy who's third. Jose Abreu is third with 623 fantasy points in that span. Now, who's second amongst first basemen?
Wow.
I think he's the third baseman. Is Matt Chapman a third baseman?
Yes, he is.
Third baseman, yeah. So I'll give you some parameters to think about for those of you who may not be, super privy to fantasy points. When it comes to fantasy baseball in terms of points, you got to think about plate discipline is factored into it because walks are positive points, strikeouts are negative points.
Is it Matt Olson?
Negative.
Oh, Goldie.
Not Paul Goldschmidt.
He was injured for a while, wasn't he?
Pete Alonso.
Pete Alonso is fourth. So no.
Oh.
Eric Hosmer.
Not Eric Hosmer.
Oh,
That was actually, I was going to guess that too.
I got nothing left. That's all the first basemen I know.
A key, so if you know your baseball stats, a key thing I mentioned is walking.
Joey Votto?
No.
I was going to say, there's no shot, but.
I like the respect.
I'm just going to start naming first basemen. Anthony Rizzo.
No, that's not a terrible guess, though. Anthony Rizzo is
it's
a lot
not.
better in points than he is in Roto.
I don't know, guys.
Oh, that's
Luke
Biggie?
Voigt?
It's not Luke Voigt. Not a terrible guess.
Miggy?
Nope.
Miggy's
That would be
dead.
insane.
Show some respect out there, dude.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know.
While you guys are thinking, did you see the quote that Zach Greinke said that his career goal is now to get to 10 home runs and 10 steals?
No shot. That's really funny, actually.
Yeah, that was great.
Because he's not going to get to 3,000 strikeouts, so he said instead he wants to get to 10 home runs and 10 steals.
What are we defining as a first base?
He is assuredly a first baseman, has played no other position in the last 2 years.
Okay, well, rip Cody.
I was going to guess Kevin Biggio, but he's listed as a second baseman as well.
I don't know as if Kevin Biggio's played any first base.
He has. He's played some first.
No, a guy who has played a lot of first base.
Carlos Santana?
Mark, you are correct.
Gross.
Second in fantasy points over the last 2 seasons among first basemen is Carlos Santana, 642 points. Not only is he the second overall first baseman, he's the 13th overall hitter in that span because he walks so damn much.
Yeah.
I will pull up his baseball reference page real quick.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, he draws a ton of walks for a not very good player.
All right, so we're looking at here his baseball reference page. You'll see here that over the last 2 seasons, he's led the majors in walks once, and where are his strikeout numbers?
They're right next to the walks.
Oh, okay. Well, he's walked he walked as many times as he struck out in 2019, 108 of each, and then walked more times than he struck out last year in 2020. Had a 199 batting average, but also had a 349 on base percentage. So yeah.
What?
Carlos Santana.
I also forgot he had such a great year in 2019.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was most of it. He's now with the Royals this year.
Yes.
So for what that's worth. Anyways, thank you for playing. After this round of trivia, Mark and Josh are tied with 38 points in the lead. Austin is in 3rd place with 35, and I'm bringing up the rear with 33. So tight race coming into March of 2021. Anyways, we are going to get into our NBA midseason awards proper now here on the show. So we're going to start with Josh, and we're going to start with what's probably the easiest pick of the 6 major awards. And that's going to be sixth man of the year.
A lot of them are pretty easy.
6th man of the year is the first award we're going to talk about. So Josh, why don't you tell me who you picked and why it was Jordan Clarkson?
Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's buckets, dude. I hate that Jazz team, but he's the clear-cut man for the job. So you guys have more stats on him. I just picked him. So you guys can talk about why. I
don't actually have more stats on him. I'll go look him up though.
Oh, I assumed you guys had, you came prepared. You've watched film. I
watched film.
I hate the Jazz, so I don't. Yeah, I was actually gonna make up. Oh, I forgot about a superlative I had kind of tried to write. It was Blockbuster isn't around anymore, and it was gonna be the Jazz because it's not the '90s and they still suck. So
they definitely don't suck, but okay.
It's my goal.
Man, should I stir things up?
No.
Should I stir them up?
You can if you want, buddy.
Controversy. I'm gonna go with my 6th man of the year, Shake Milton. And you know why? Because when Shake Milton, when everyone was injured on the Sixers and he had to step up, he dropped 40 twice. He came out when he needed to. He's a guy who's shown, that his team needs him at times. Utah, they haven't battled as much adversity, not as much injuries, not as much trouble in the season. They've just been winning. When players are on winning teams and all they do is win and there's nothing to go on, they're gonna succeed. But when a player's battling adversity, his point guard has shot 6 threes this season. He's got to come in. He's got to make a difference on the court. Tobias Harris was hurt. Seth Curry was hurt. Ben Simmons was hurt. Embiid was out. What's this guy doing? And he comes in and he balls out. This guy had a stretch for 2 weeks where he didn't even score 5 points in a game. And he's averaging 14 points per game. That's how you know when he is needed and he comes in, he dominates. Shake Milton.
I'd just like to say that Jordan Clarkson had a 40-point game last week, but okay.
Yeah, but come on.
And wasn't it 29 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was under 30 minutes. That was my trivia question. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was terrible. It didn't work. Sleepy Floyd in 1992. So no, it didn't get a lot of answers, but it was there. It was nice.
Was he the only other person to do it? I remember seeing that stat the other day.
I think he was the last person to do it.
Okay.
I know that others did.
I was wondering. So, Mark, who was your pick?
It's Jordan Clarkson.
Okay, well, it's mine too. Jordan Clarkson is my pick.
Yeah.
18 points a game. You already know what it is. Shake Milton.
Stir it up.
I'm not stirring it up. You know what? we're gonna do this thing in a few weeks when we preview the MLB season proper. That's what I'm gonna stir it up. All right.
Mhm.
My housemates and I have been talking about our award picks for the season already. I'm gonna stir the pot with that hoe. All right. Right now, I'm just picking.
No, Jordan Clarkson's the runaway, but
You just
stir
wanted to
the
give
pot.
some love to Shake Milton,
Stir the pot. Yeah.
Shane, like if Jordan Clarkson died tomorrow, who would you have picked?
Probably
I think
Shake.
no one. No one.
I actually have no idea.
Like 0 other people deserve it. So
It would probably just go to Lou Williams again for no reason. Anyways,
He's still alive.
yeah. All right, Josh, I'm gonna start with you next. Next award, most improved player from last season to this season. Who's your pick for most improved player? Oh,
He's frozen.
oh, Josh is frozen. All right, Austin.
no, he's here. He's here. He's here.
Oh, he's
wait,
back.
he's back. He's back.
I'm back. Sorry, I
All
was
right.
about to Snapchat you guys because whatever just took place was wild.
All right, Josh. Who's your pick for?
God damn. So
Kidding, you didn't freeze.
yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just going with it.
Um,
You're good. You didn't freeze. He was just messing with you.
I
I'm
was
going.
messing with you.
Wow.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't freeze. I was just messing with you. Your pick for most improved player of the year, Josh.
Wait, honestly, I could have went with some other players I picked later on here, but my most improved player of the year goes to Julius Randle. That pick is mostly, in my mind, he has solidified himself as a number one star on his team. He's carrying that team to the playoffs currently, probably gonna make the playoffs. He leads the league he's a key part of the defense that is leading the league, or second in defensive efficiency and number one in points per game. Julius Randle is a certified stud in the league now, and I mean, hopefully, can actually get people to come to New York. As a new New York Knicks fan, he's exciting to watch.
I'm not gonna lie.
What's that?
I'm sorry. No, you can finish your statement.
I'm just saying, and he's definitely taken that jump, I think, this year that you can see.
It's funny. Had you asked when 2 years ago when he played for the Pelicans, who I thought the most underrated player in the NBA was, I would have said Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Like I've been a very large Julius Randle fan for a few years now. So it's not my pick, but I understand. I totally agree with the rationale behind the pick.
Yeah.
It's a great pick. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
Austin, who's your pick for most improved player this year?
I think this is the only answer. I mean, unless you're trolling like Josh, that would be the best team in the league. Small forward Jeremy Grant for the Detroit Pistons, who has doubled his points, almost doubled his rebounds, more than doubled his assists, and is shooting remarkably better from everywhere on the floor this season, averaging 24, 6, and 3. Last year he averaged 12, 3, and 1. Jeremy Grant honestly has just become the best player on his team, and not even just a best player of a bad team, like actually playing well, good efficiency, not just high volume player. And he's playing with a bunch of 21-year-olds who suck at basketball. So, I respect it, and he's taking a huge step.
I like the homer picks. All right, Robert Williams, Mark, is that your pick?
No.
Right, and then mine is going to be Max Strus. So, yeah, we're all going with the homer picks here.
Thought it would be precious.
Also, I completely forgot about Jeremy Grant. I'm not going to lie. I tried to make a top 3 for each award. Jeremy Grant would be my number 3. Or my number 2, probably. My number 2. My apologies. Had I remembered.
I had a top 3 for this as well, and my top 2 have been taken. So
just give us your number 1. We're picking awards here, Mark. What the hell?
No, I'm mixing. Stirring up. I'm stirring the pot.
That makes negative sense. That makes literally no sense.
What are you guys gonna do at MVP, huh?
Yeah, Mark's gonna have to go with I'm gonna pick Nikola Vucevic as my MVP because my other picks were taken.
No, this is the only one I'm gonna do this with. Because I also want to keep the homer picks going because I'm gonna go with Jaylen Brown. because last year it was like, all right, Jalen, you know, he doesn't really need to do much. He'll get his buckets. He'll be somewhat inefficient. Like, he'll play some decent defense. And then this year, Tatum was out for a while. Kemba hasn't been making anything. And Jalen was just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and get 35 a night, 9 rebounds. I'm going to shoot 50%. Like, he really stepped up and showed that, like, oh no, he's also a number one level, like number one caliber player. And it doesn't show with the Celtics record that they have 2 legit number one guys. But I think he took a step up to be like, oh no, I'm an all-star too. And he made the all-star game very well deserved. And he was my third option, but I just want to give some love to him. I personally think it's also Jeremy Grant. But yeah, that's just me.
All right. So it's funny enough, my pick hasn't been mentioned yet. So this is exciting, actually. So in terms of honorable, because I wrote some honorable mentions for each of my picks as well. So my honorable mentions for most improved player go to Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, Jeremy Grant, 3 guys who I considered. And if I had made a top 5, they would be in it, obviously. And then another one who hasn't been mentioned, an honorable mention for me, even though he's kind of tailed off as of late, is Chris Boucher. I remember he was the Chris Boucher, however you pronounce. I think it's Boucher. Was like the hot commodity at the beginning of the season. Like, everybody was going nuts over how good Chris Boucher was when Pascal Siakam wasn't playing very well. So I think he's worth consideration here. But my pick, it's tough to kind of justify the pick given he's been injured for a little bit.
Ooh, bad pick.
Yeah, Austin knows where I'm going with this. Austin doesn't like it because he's the former Detroit Piston as opposed to the current Detroit Piston. I'm going to go with Christian Wood as my most improved player. I know he's only played 17 games. He should be back after the All-Star break from what I understand. But in those 17 games, 22 and 10 is the averages, a block and a half and a steal per game. Christian Wood is the man. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Mm-hmm. I have like a one that I just saw across the bottom of the screen. I was like, I don't know if this is accurate because I didn't watch a lot of basketball last year, but was Domantas Sabonis as good as he is this year?
Yes. I will say he's gotten better this year. He's continued to get better, but I wouldn't say the gap is large enough as to where he should be considered. If he wins this year, it'll be very similar to when Giannis won it like 4 years ago, from when he went to great to extra great, which was ridiculous in my mind, but you know.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's a fair question. All right, so we'll move on here to Coach of the Year, which again, to me, there are a few different coaches up for consideration here. I'm interested to see what your guys' picks are. But yeah, Josh, why don't you kick it off with Coach of the Year?
A part of me wanted to stay Homer on this one, bringing around a franchise of losers that he's made into a defensive squadron that could take down anyone. But I had to go with Quinn Snyder and the Utah Jazz. I feel like this is a pretty scrap pick considering they won 21 of 25 games so far at the beginning of the season. But I don't know, man. I don't know. The Jazz are good. I guess. So that's my pick.
Yeah, I mean, I too was gonna go Homer on this one and go with Dwayne Casey. He recently came out in the news, some publicity because they took their first overall pick last year and told them, you're just going to be setting screens. You're not going to get in the game. And that's basically all he's gotten. But I just couldn't give it to him. I don't know. So I'm going to give it to Quinn Snyder as well.
Josh, you didn't want to go Homer. I'll do it for you.
Oh, I thought Mark was going to go Homer and pick Brad Stevens.
Oh, God, no. No, I'm giving it to Tibbs. I really like what he's done with this Knicks team. Because not only are they competitive, which they are, they're above 500 for the first time since 1972. They're no, but they're fun. Like, it's an actual Knicks team that's fun to watch. And I like watching Julius Randle go in and just be awesome every night. And like, so I really like what he's done with the Knicks. I never thought I would say I would give Tom Thibodeau a Coach of the Year award. yeah, I think at this point in the season, I would give it to Tibbs. Absolutely.
Yeah. So my honorable mentions here were Quinn Snyder, as well as underrated pick, which again we haven't mentioned yet, Monty Williams, the Phoenix Suns. Suns are fourth in the West right now, and looking like legitimate contenders out west. So shout out to Monty Williams. That Suns team is also another one that's a lot of fun to watch. But I am going with Mark. I'm going to eat my words here and give it to Tom Thibodeau as my coach of the year. I think I've made a lot of jokes about Tibbs beforehand, and not that I'm going to stop because
oh God, no, they're way too much fun.
But what Tom Thibodeau has done with this Knicks team is downright shocking, to be honest with you. How good they are, just generally speaking. Yes, Josh.
I think one of the more impressive things too is that, and I know it sounds stupid to say about New York City, but he took one of the most undesirable coaching jobs in the league, I think it's fair to say, just in a matter of how bad they've been for how long and how hard it is to produce in that city. And he's made it what he's done in that environment too. So I think that's good to say. I mean, maybe it's a COVID. Maybe that's a good thing of COVID that you don't have to deal with as much garbage from the people of New York. But also, I saw a great point the other day where it's like, how fun would this Knicks team be in a packed MSG crowd? Be electric.
It would be as fun as the hype video from the 90s that was like, we are the New York Knicks. That video with John Starks and Pat Ewing and whatnot. They would be as fun as that video.
Yeah. So I mean, I liked it, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. That's how I think of him too. It's just like I would love to see Randall just drop like 35 and 15 in front of a packed MSG and have the place go bonkers.
What about honorable mention that guy for Portland, Trey Scotts, that's his name?
Harry Scotts,
whatever his name is. They lost.
Oh, Terry Stotts. My bad.
Stotts.
Yeah.
They lost CJ McCollum like week 2, like really early, and I don't know. They're 5th in the West. They're still competing, and they've allowed Carmelo Anthony to continue to play basketball and be purposeful on a roster, which is kind of cool. Nobody else really took a shot on that. So,
does the NBA do a comeback player of the year?
I think so.
Because like Melo would have to be the runaway, right?
No,
probably not. He was about this good last year.
Yeah.
Oh, was he?
It would probably be John Wall. Yeah,
that's fair.
But yeah, I don't know. I think this next one is a little bit more easy than the last ones we've been talking about. For me, it's going to come down to who's going to get the award and not who should get the award. So I won't make the case that this player should get the award, but who should at least be considered for the award. I don't think it's as much of a runaway as you might think it is. But the last couple of games have kind of made it hard for me to say that. Anyways, Rookie of the Year. Josh, why don't you tell me who your pick for Rookie of the Year is?
It's my favorite team to put a 50 spot on and watch for the night. It's LaMelo Ball, baby. He is very fun to watch, and honestly, he should probably start on the team, to be completely honest. But I think he has the last 2 nights now with Dante Graham being out. But yeah, he's super fun to watch. He makes people around him better, which is exactly what you want out of any player, let alone a first-year player. And that's just an incredible thing to be able to do. So I'd have to pick LaMelo Ball. Also, I don't know many rookies. So just from the draft class on 2K. So I guess one other right now, but that's my pick.
All right, cool. Austin, who's your pick for
my honorable mention here is if Anthony Edwards played for any other franchise than the worst one in NBA history. But it is also LaMelo Ball. I mean, he's just more than just his play. Like he also he's made Charlotte a place like people like care about. People want to watch. I mean, it's a dog NBA town, but now it's not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with this for me is really a 2-horse race.
He's gonna go with Patrick Williams.
No.
Oh, who's a rookie for the Celtics? Peyton Pritchard?
Yeah, it's Peyton Pritchard. But no, this is a 2-horse race for me. And LaMelo's got that edge by a little bit, but I just want to say James Wiseman is really good at basketball. And I know he
sucks.
I know he hasn't put up like
a nice rebuttal,
but he hasn't put up like huge numbers, but he's still hovering around like 14 and 7, and he's not playing a ton of minutes because he's had some leg injuries. And like I think if he stayed healthy and like his minutes progressed throughout the season, I think he's like I don't want to say dark horse pick. He's James Wiseman. He was the 2nd overall pick, but I think he's got a pretty good chance to maybe come through at the end and may steal it.
I will say the reason he's not a dark horse isn't because of where he was picked in the draft. It's because barring LaMelo Ball dying, no one else is winning that award. Anyways, this is why I wanted to say that it's going to be between who's going to win and who. I don't want to make the case should win because I think it should be LaMelo Ball, and this is a player similar to a similar degree of when I had to eat my words about Luca Doncic. Now, I will say that me making jokes about Luca Doncic not being that good before he was drafted was entirely out of ignorance because I've never watched a EuroLeague game in my life. So I kind of assumed, I was like, oh, that guy can't be that good. I was wrong. LaMelo Ball is so much better than I expected him to be. Like
me too.
So much better than I expected him to be. He's out here averaging 16, 6, and 6, 1.6 steals per game, doing it on hyper efficiency kind of deal right now. Like it's actually kind of wild watching it because again, it was like one of those things where like, I don't know where this came from. Like I really have no idea where this came from.
Yeah. Like all of the high school videos on him were like him just yakking threes all across the court and
oh boy,
just playing stupid basketball. And then now all of a sudden he's like, good, he does none of that.
And he wasn't particularly that good in New Zealand last year. Or in Australia.
No, he's so inefficient. Yeah. So inefficient.
Yeah. He wasn't particularly good in Australia last year either. So like for me at least, this came out of nowhere. But I do want to mention the guy that I called on draft night. On draft night, I said in the Hot So group chat, this man is the steal of the draft. And teams are going to regret. I got to find out exactly where he was picked. 12th overall. The fact that he slid to 12th makes no sense to me. And that's Tyrese Haliburun of the Sacramento Kings. This man's out here averaging 13, 4, and 5 with a steal and a half and 0.6 blocks per game. He's like the one good player on the Kings that's not named De'Aaron Fox. Depending on what night you're playing basketball, he's been super consistent. And Luke Walton sucks as a coach. I hate to say it, but I'm not. It's not really that much of a hot take because not only should Tyrese Haliburun be starting, but he should be starting. Like that's all I gotta say, right? It's like the fact this guy, in 30 games he started 2 of them, and he's been this good and this impactful this early. Like I said, on draft night, I was like, this guy should be a top 10 player, and the Kings got to steal with him. Too bad Vlade Divac is a terrible executive. They have an awful coach, and they won't do anything with him because they're a bad.
Yeah, I think the Kings should just be better. Your coaching actor is like totally there. Luke Walton sucked. The Kings, you said De'Aaron Fox, but like honestly, Harrison Barnes and like Slick Rick down low with it's not.
You have a different nickname for Rashawn Holmes every single episode. Slick Rick.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. Maybe it's just because they're my number 2 favorite team to watch. I watch.
Harrison Barnes is also almost my pick for most underrated player in the league. You got Buddy Hield, who's making too much money but is still good. I was kind of joking when I said that Tyrese Haliburton is the second or the only good player on this team, not named De'Aaron Fox.
Sure, yeah.
You have the zombie that we used to call Hassan Whiteside on the roster. You have Corey Joseph. I guess he plays basketball, maybe.
Jabari Parker's corpse.
Yeah, Jabari Parker, who hasn't played a minute this season.
Something Bielitsa.
Nabalika Benjencia. That guy.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if the Kings should be better than they are, but their organization, their coaching suck, and I wish Haliburun had better moving forward. But we're going to move on to our second to last award of the night. And Josh, kick us off with your pick for Defensive Player of the Year. He froze again.
God damn it.
What's going on tonight?
Or Josh is back. No, Josh is back.
He's moving, but I
gone
can't hear him.
Now he's back.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Now I
All
can.
right. Okay. Which one are we doing now?
Defensive Player
Depoy?
of the Year.
All right. This one was tough for me. I don't know who's good at this. I just looked up some stats. Don't kill me. I don't know what the stat means. There was a defensive win rate. I don't even know what the hell that means. But this guy is averaging over 3 blocks a game and over a steal a game. And he's only played significant. I mean, he's played enough. He's been hurt. I knew he was hurt for like at least a week, but he's played enough games to where it's not like, oh, you only played 5 games. He's just dominating the backboard. And he has the second most defensive rebounds a game, I think it was. So I'm going to give it up to Miles Turner and that stingy Indiana ball up in Indianapolis. So that'd be my pick, Miles Turner for Defensive Player of the Year. Screw Rudy Gobert. He doesn't deserve it every goddamn year. Get him out of here. Just suck. Next.
All right. I'm going to go Rudy Gobert. I mean, they've been the best team in the NBA, and that's mainly off the back of Jordan Clarkson and their defense. So I'm willing to say that their defense is anchored by Rudy Gobert. Without Rudy Gobert, I'd reckon that defense is just not good, actually, to be honest with you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, he doesn't have as many blocks per game as little Miles Turner over there. Miles Turner started the year with like 30 blocks in the first 6 games. Like something absurd, probably even more than that, because he had 8 blocks in like the first week in one of his games. So I think he's coming back down to earth. And Rudy Gobert, I think he's not necessarily a stat stuffer to the point Miles Turner is, but he does a lot of other things I think better. I think he just understands the floor better and a lot of things like that. So I like Rudy Gobert, best player, best defensive player on the best team in the league right now. That's pretty safe pick.
I actually was also going to go Miles Turner. That blocks number is ridiculous. It's one of like, I get it was a lot early, but you still got to maintain it. And it would have dipped by now if, he was just all of a sudden doing like 0 or 1 blocks a game, it would have dipped. So I think he's done enough to maintain that status, and he's just been insane on the defensive end this year. So I'm also going to go Miles Turner.
And I'm going to split the vote. But I like to give honorable mention. Miles Turner is on my honorable mentions list. Also, had he continued to be healthy, I think it's going to be a games played thing. Had he played enough, not Miles Turner. I'm talking about a different player. Had this player been healthier, and we'll see what happens in the second half. I think it would have. You would have had a great case for Anthony Davis to win his first Defensive Player of the Year. But my pick is also going to be Rudy Gobert. He's the best defender in the league. Zero question to me. As he's going for his 3-bagger, it should have been 3 times in a row. But did Giannis win it last year? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
it should have been.
Yes.
It should have been 3 times in a row. He should be going for the 4-peat. But we had to go with the Greek guy last year. So Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower. I mean, that's even one of the best nicknames in the NBA. Like, I love it. Shout out to Rudy Gobert.
But he did give the entire NBA COVID.
That's not how that happened. That's not
how
True.
that didn't work.
COVID guy.
That's not true. That didn't happen. Anyways, we are here.
Controversy.
The most important award of the night, of the year. We are going to go with, is the MVP award named after Bill Russell, or is that Finals MVP?
Finals MVP.
What is the
Finals.
MVP award named after anybody? No? All right. We're going to go with the, Stanley Steamer NBA MVP of the year. Now, while everybody else is giving their answers, I want you guys to go in and make sure you did your golf lineups because we're going to talk about
I'm doing it right now.
Gotcha. Josh, why don't you start with me? Who's your pick for MVP?
I already went on my kind of, Jokic stan earlier. Denver's, I don't know why they're not better. I mean, it's probably a depth thing. Or I don't know really what the problem is. They're pouncing the Bucks right now. But, it's got to be Nikola Jokic to me. The way he looks, I say his last name different every time, by the way. But Jokic looks different to me. He looks so effortless when he's on the court. Maybe it's just because he's an unathletic, tall, lanky white guy. But, he'll do, back to the basket, turn around, up and under. And it'll look like he's, me trying to make the move. And it just goes in flawlessly. And it's something I aspire to do on the street, in street.
I said it a bunch of times before. Spoiler alert: Nikola Jokic is not my pick. But it's insane to me that not only that he's probably, I would consider him the best passer in the NBA still, and he's 7 feet tall. That's just insane to me. But
it's kind of like watching me and Austin watch the Iowa OSU game this weekend. And watching Luca Garza, which I don't know how he's not higher on draft boards, because that type of presence from a tall guy who has such a great look on the court and can especially in Iowa's case, the entire offense moves through Luca Garza. And even in Denver, it's all around Jokic, whether he's bringing the ball up or he's down low, he's getting double teamed. The defense is moving around of him. He makes the entire offense move. And that'd be my pick. That's my MVP.
Awesome.
Well, I think it's a good era in the NBA when, the two perceived front runners are both big men. And my MVP vote is the best player in the NBA, in my opinion, Joel Embiid. Watching this guy play is not like watching some guy with New Balances on play basketball. He is unbelievable, and the progression he's made since he got in the NBA is unbelievable. It just seems like a situation where nobody can actually stop him. Where I legitimately think he just if he gets face up and there's no double team, he's just going to score. It's the kind of same feeling you got with prime KD, where as soon as he touched the ball, you were just like, all right, 2 points, mark it down. And it's just kind of ridiculous. I think he's a viable defensive player of the year candidate as well. Honestly. And then when his team was injured and needed him most, he was going as a center. He's just going out and dropping 40, 20 games over and over again, just dominating because he could. And then when he was hurt, they went 0-6 until he came back. It's a situation where I guess he's got a little bit of unfair advantage where his team is just terrible without him, because if Ben Simmons doesn't have a dominant big, he becomes a really bad point guard because it's just the play style he has. So, I mean, that is kind of a benefit for Embiid, but his team needs him more than I think any team needs a player in the NBA, and he's just too dominant to pass up.
I think it's funny you mentioned that we're in a good time in the NBA. It's almost like we've come full circle, and tall people are important again in the NBA.
Yeah.
You have guys like Embiid, like Nikola Jokic, Anthony Davis, like Rudy Gobert. It's all coming full circle again. Anyways, Mark, who's your pick for MVP?
Mine is also Nikola Jokic. What he's been able to do at that size, and like you said, the fact that he is probably the best passer in the NBA right now, and just the thing that gets me with him are the football passes he does when he'll be at one end of the court and he just finds a guy at the other basket and just places it in his hands. Everything about him is extremely fun to watch. I also think it's very entertaining that just a tall, fat white guy is should win the MVP this year. But he's been tremendous. He's not anymore, but didn't he have that stretch of 11 straight games where he was within 2 things of a triple double?
Sure.
I
don't know. I didn't see that stat.
He either had it. Yeah, it was there was a stretch where he either had a triple double or was within 2 assists or rebounds of 1 for like 14 straight games. And it's like, this is insane. And he doesn't get talked about enough by the casual basketball fan because he plays in Denver and no one cares about Nuggets basketball. So
yeah. Mark, I think you bring up a great point, and because he's not your pick, I'll jump in here real quick, Nunez. I've never understood more when women are like, I just want to see someone represented like me in a sport to make me watch. Nikola Jokic has never made me feel more like that. For seeing a man like me, who looks like me, makes me more.
And he froze again. Anyways, we'll move on here. My pick for MVP. I'm going to talk about a couple of guys who haven't been mentioned yet, but I think are my 2 honorable mentions. Steph Curry is dragging that Warriors team kicking and screaming to possible playoff contention here. He's having the exact season that I thought he was going to have last season before he got injured. So had we done a preseason show this year, I would have picked Curry for MVP, just like I did last season. And I think he's still a viable contender. Second is a guy who probably would be winning MVP if his team were any shred of good, and that's Luca Doncic. This man is absolutely insane. He's like, to me, watching Luca Doncic play is almost like watching Pat Mahomes play in football. Like I just watch him and I just don't get it. I don't get how he's as good as he is. Like I get it, like I understand, right? But like mind-blowing kind of stuff that he does on the court. But my pick is we're going to split the room again here between me and Austin, the right side, and Josh and Mark, the wrong side. Where I'm going to take Joel Embiid as my MVP pick. It's an award show full of me eating my words. I've had more than enough Joel Embiid slander on this show. And shocker, Doc Rivers is a good coach. Am I right? He's someone we didn't even mention for Coach of the Year. Like, it's strange, all crazy, right? How once you get them like an actual good coach and some guy who's not just like been there and is tenured into the job because he has nowhere else to go, that the team starts to be good, right? Like the number 1 seed in the East. Now, I still think the Miami Heat own acres upon acres of real estate in the Sixers' head from last season into this season, but that's beside the point. I guess we'll see when it comes to playoff time whether or not this team is mentally tough as opposed to just physically tough like they are right now. But the MVP is a regular season award, and Joel Embiid averaging 30 points a game right now, to me, is again the most unstoppable force in basketball. And this is his season. I don't care how he's I don't know as if he's getting as much play on like the Sports Center Twitter or whatever. I don't know, but Joel Embiid is my pick for MVP as we sit right now in the halfway point of the season. And obviously, we will revisit these awards at the end of the season. But as it stands, that's it for our NBA midseason awards. Now, before we go, we've got ourselves a hot stove FanDuel contest to talk about. We're going to be doing, Mark, I don't understand the gestures you're doing back there. Like he's golfing. He was swishing. I don't know if he was doing that.
I did not do a swish. I've been doing fist bumps.
He's doing fist bumps. He's golfing. He's doing other things.
I have nothing else to contribute to this show other than random gestures. So.
Okay. Well, we're going to be setting our lineups here for the Arnold Palmer Invitational this weekend. I don't know where this tournament takes place.
Bay Hill Country Club.
Where's that?
I believe it's in Florida. Or no, they're doing the West Wing right now. It's in California.
Sure. Anyways, who wants to go first with their lineup?
It's in Florida. I was right.
I'll go here. I'll tell you, a lot of bums out there this week. Not a lot of real competitors. When Rory's your number 1 guy in the field, a lot of bums out there. I'll tell you.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of take is that?
He's soft. Rory's soft. He won't win another major in his lifetime.
He's the most yoked guy on tour. I don't know what you're talking about. Soft.
I hate Bryson. Price is probably. I'd tell you, Tiger's got a better chance of winning another major before Rory.
Oh, gee.
Tiger might
not
step on a golf.
That's the worst take of 2020.
So my lineup, my most expensive player that I went with is Matthew Fitzpatrick, channeling his Fitzmagic, once again, 5 of 7 cuts, electric golfer the last month of the season. He can't be stopped. I know what you're thinking. He's not really averaging that many points for a guy worth $11,000, but hey, he will this week when he wins it all. That'd be my hot take. Second up, it's Austin's favorite golfer. You know him, you love him, Mr. Sunday himself, Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Sunday.
I mean, I'll tell you, if I could take him out of my lineup after Saturday, I'd love the opportunity to compete with him. Next expensive-ish of the expensive, Tommy Fleetwood. Next golfer, 5 of 6 cuts this season. Real fun to watch. He's got flowy hair, so he's cute. Next one down is I don't know what the hell is this loser's first name. Will Zalatoris. I don't know, man. I had the
Wally Zalatoris, and that man is a South African. All right,
Billy South African. Will Zalatoris. He's got a lot of cash coming in. A lot of points per game here for this contest winner. Zalatoris, I like him because of the name and he's fun. I'll save my next one because he's my favorite this year. And then what's this loser's first name? Bernd Weissenberger. So this Nazi I picked, he's only 8,100, and I'm thinking he's made 4 or 4 cuts. He might do something special here. He's a low price golfer of the week. And then my favorite golfer, probably other than Tiger on the tour, this is his year. This is his year. Mark it down. Maybe the PGA, something not that great, not Augusta, maybe the U.S. Open. Ricky Fowler, Lil Ricky. This year, this is my guy, FanDuel lineup. He wasn't in last week. He's here now. Lock it up, Ricky Fowler. He's going to have a big year. This is a year he finally takes the jump, wins a major, or just leave now. You're getting old, kid. So.
Wow. What a lineup. What a lineup.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go bottom to top. Guess it makes some sense. I went with Bernd Weisberger as well. I don't know. He's just a loser. He's a loser, sure.
He's a loser.
But his round 1 and round 2 scores are always good. If you go through this guy's tournaments, he just competes those first 2 days, and he sucks the rest of the time.
From the Hot Stove Podcast to you, Bernd Weisberger, fuck you. All right?
You Nazi son of a bitch.
He's only competed in 4 tournaments. He will most definitely leave my lineup at some time for another loser. But last week I did pick Billy Horschel as my loser who could win it for no reason. And he was right there. So I started to go on this trend where I'm just picking losers. So my next loser, which actually I knew his name, Zach Johnson. He's made 9 out of 9 cuts this year.
He's won a major.
Absolutely nothing with him. He's absolutely bad at golf. I don't understand how this guy's won a major. I mean,
I'm 90% sure he has.
I think he might have won 2.
Even if he has, hear me out. This guy is a bum. I mean, what are we talking about? He's 8,300 in FanDuel. Does that give you any indication of how good of a golfer he is? He's made 9 out of 9 cuts, and he's still 8,300.
You are right, Matt. He won the Masters in 2007 and the Open in 2015.
Okay, so back in the time of the dinosaurs, you won the Masters. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, he's old. I'll give you that. He's 45 now. He's probably...
Yeah, I like the vet. I like the vet to come out and make the cut. All right. Now we got the real loser who is going to win it all. This is all the audience out there, put your money on this guy to win it all. Money back guarantee. Emiliano Grillo. Sorry for the butchering of the name. I have no clue how to pronounce it. But the guys played 14 tournaments this year. He is out on that golf course every weekend. He wants to compete. He's in the groove. He's feeling it. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to come out in this bum tournament with all these bums playing. And he's going to show he's the best bum of them all. He's going to win this tournament. Next most expensive, maybe the biggest bum of all 6 of these players, 10-8, Jordan Spieth. Oh, yeah. He's going to come out. He's going to shoot 3 under, 4 under, 7 under. He's going to be 14 under going into day 4. He's going to finish 9 under. 5 over on Sunday, and he's going to lose by 1 stroke. That's how big of a choke it's going to be. And he's going to lose to, of course, Emiliano Grillo. Next up, 11-6. I don't even like this guy, Patrick Reed. I don't know. I haven't heard his name in a while. Figure he just comes out and golfs. I don't know.
He was around this last weekend.
Yeah, he was.
Top 5.
Yeah, well, he sucks.
He's too fat.
Actually, what I was gonna say is, he finishes top 10 in his last 2 tournaments, 1st and 9th. I really think he's found a groove here, and I think he comes out this weekend and really shines. And then my star of the night, a guy who is a loser by some people's mention here, Rory McIlroy. The guy, he's just a beast from the Far East, if that's the expression. Posting a couple rounds here recently of only negative scores on every day. I mean, not a lot of golfers can do it, but Rory can. And, when golfers play with a bunch of bums, they got to show that they're better than the bums. I think there's a little chip on the shoulder for the good golfers in this event that they're going to come out and dominate. So, good luck. Good luck beating Emiliano or whatever his name is. But
The Nazi?
No,
No, the other guy.
Emiliano
The
Grillo.
Spaniard.
Yeah, the Spaniard.
Look, beating the Nazi.
So you say Emiliano there, he's been in 14 tournaments. How many cuts has he made?
11.
Oh, okay. I was really hoping you were going to be like
none.
3.
None yet.
But... All right, so going least expensive to most expensive, 7,700. I picked him because I like his name and he has been good sometimes. Doc Redman.
It's an awesome name.
It's a very good name. He's been around a little bit. He's had a few
Doctor
top
of
10s,
Clubonomics.
the past few months. So.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, that wasn't funny. Boo, you stink.
81. Next guy, 8,100. Going with Harold Varner.
I know that
third.
I almost did it and almost made a bad joke with it, so I left it off.
I can see where that might have gone.
It's March now, so that was a joke.
But
Shut up. Shut up. I hate it here.
So Harold Varner at 8,100. He's only made 6 out of 10 cuts, but he's one of those guys where he'll miss a cut and then the next week shoot like 14 under.
Yeah.
So you never know with him. He's inconsistent, and I'm hoping to this is one of those good weeks. I also have Zach Johnson in my lineup, not because he's a loser, because he hasn't missed a cut and he's won 2 majors. So just about the opposite.
To be fair, he's a loser. So
yeah. And then my strategy of the 3 cheaper guys and 3 big boys continues. 11-3, I went with Sung Jae Im, who out of Seoul, South Korea. 13 out of 14 cuts. He was right in there to win a green jacket. He was right in there to win the U.S. Open.
Sure.
Yeah. Very close personal friends with Bong Joon-ho. All
right, that might have been insensitive. Anyways, Mark,
Sung Jae Im might hit the straightest ball on tour off the tee. I mean, I've never seen him miss a fairway.
Straighter than a straight line.
What?
The show sucks.
Dude.
Let's hope no one from the PGA ever watches this show.
We're calling our golfers Nazis.
I'm gonna when you tweet out the link to the show, I'm gonna @ Barnard and say, if you have any spine worth on your Nazi, watch this, you prick.
Come on this show and you prove that you're not a Nazi.
Yeah.
This guy probably gets like 1 social media notification a week. I'm sure he'll see that.
I hate this.
I hate it. Here.
I'm gonna go on the record
with
now.
This Jew right here. Show me that you're not a Nazi.
I'm gonna go on the record right now and say I don't think he's a Nazi. I also have Victor Hovland and Rory McIlroy. They're both very good at golf. That's how I got it.
Yeah, I forget that Victor Hovland was an amateur last year.
Yeah, it's only his second year and he's missed like one cut.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Bringing out the rear with the waste management winning lineup of the week is me. Again, I don't know jack shit about golf. I know literally nothing about the sport. I just kind of wing it, right? So my first pick is John Hu. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's of the Asian persuasion. Now, I will say, one of these times I'll have to get around doing in one of the bigger tournaments, I'll do my Asian sensation lineup where I only pick Asian golfers. But this time I didn't get around to it. So I went with John Hu at 8,000. I don't know. He's made 6 to 7 cuts. He's nothing spectacular. He seems to really be floating around 30th in all his tournaments. But sometimes you need a steady presence, you know? You need a guy who's not going to be too high, not going to be too low. Anyways, next one I picked because he's made a lot of cuts. He's 10 of 11 on cuts for the year, averaging 79 points per tournament, and he's got a stupid name, Patton Kizery. Who names their kid Patton? I don't know. His parents.
Oswald.
And I'm picking him. Yeah, Patton Oswald's a cool dude. He helped catch that one killer. There's a documentary.
The one who got his wife?
No, not the one who got his wife. The one whose wife was researching when she passed away.
Oh.
Yeah. Patton Kizery, that guy. The next we're gonna go with Josh's favorite golfer. Probably sucks, but who knows? I'm going with Ricky Fowler as well. 9,600.
I also love Ricky. He's also probably my favorite golfer.
I'm not gonna lie. I switched my lineup mid-show to put Ricky Fowler in, and I have literally zero idea why I did it. So in the meantime, I'm gonna take Ricky Fowler out of my lineup.
God damn it!
And instead of Patton, because I feel bad because I made fun.
You're gonna put in the burn.
No. I'm gonna put in this guy who definitely sucks. What's this guy's
Another
name?
Anglo-Saxon loser could you find?
Nick Taylor. Have you ever heard of that guy?
I might have heard the name before.
Might be my cousin.
I don't know. 8 of 12 on cuts, 62 points per tournament this year. No, he probably sucks, but who cares? What's next? Next up is a guy who also. Oh, I thought this was the Sep guy. I had a guy in here earlier named Sep.
Sep.
I took him out, and I don't know. I don't remember who it was. I went with Sam Burns, 9,900. I don't know. I hear he's good. I went with Sung J M as well. A couple of tournaments I've watched with one of my housemates, Sung J M is pretty good. And Mark is absolutely right. He hits the straightest ball, straighter than
straight line.
A thing that's straight. I don't know. and then with all the money, I went with the Scott. Is he Scottish? Rory Mcilroy?
Yeah.
Northern Irish.
Yeah, the same.
The
far east, Northern Ireland.
The part that's going to bomb the other part of the UK.
Yes.
We're going to go with Rory McIlroy with the most money. I'm probably going to come in last. This lineup sucks, but I don't care. Oh, I didn't actually. I left one out. I somehow only mentioned 5 of them. I didn't mention my favorite golfer on tour, the best South African to ever grace the links, and that's Louis Oosthuizen. Thank you. Anyways, that's it. And that does it for episode 21 of the Hot Stove Podcast. Somehow this turned into an unbelievable shit show in the last 20 minutes. For my co-hosts, my name is Zach Nunez. Oh, housekeeping stuff. How could I possibly forget? Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hot Stove Pod. That's at Hot Stove Pod on Twitter. Also, we have 5 spots left in our fantasy baseball league. Let us know. We got 3 weeks until that. 2 weeks until our March Madness selection show. We're sending out invites to that link as well. Josh is doing throat slitting motions. He's going off the rails. Next, he might hang himself on camera. It would probably be pretty funny. On the YouTube side, make sure to smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, smash the notification button, the bell, not the Liberty Bell. That one's cracked, my guy. I'm cracked at Fortnite. Do the Liberty Bell thing. And then also leave a comment if you feel like talking about us on the internet. For my co-hosts, Mark, Peyton Pritchard, and Nikola Jokic. I'm your host, Zach. Thank you for watching episode 21 of the Hot Stove Podcast. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.